Westwood.
You live in Zimmerman?
Yeah.
So you do probably a lot of your grocery shopping in Zimmerman. You don't ever go, don't they have like a Coburn's or something?
Yeah,
James
it's
Market, but it's
called
really
Jim's
expensive.
Okay, so
I
you
go
come to
there.
Elk River.
Yeah.
Even though you live near a grocery store, you still come to Elk River. So if you think about our trade area of Elk River, you kind of know by where people live who's still coming to Elk River. Zach's coming from now then, Noah's coming from Zimmerman, Dylan's coming from North Fork. Okay, and so that's all within Elk River's trade area. Let me ask you this, just to show you that because rivers and everything else changed the game. How many of you live in Otsego? Okay, the reality is if you cross the Mississippi River, you're not coming to Elk River to shop. Otsego's pretty well established. It's just way too convenient to stay right there and go to Target. True? Wouldn't you think? So our trade area isn't very far to the south. To the west towards Big Lake, it's pretty far. To the east towards North Fork, it's pretty far. Towards the north towards Zimmerman, it's pretty far. So I think a good definition for trade area is a city's economic reach. Okay, here's a trick question. Are we in Elk River's trade area or Minneapolis's trade area? Yes. Depends on what services we're talking about, right? Okay. One other thing about trade area, let's just go up Highway 10. Do you guys know where the County Road 15 bridge is? There's a bridge that goes over the highway just about a couple miles past the government center. Do you think if you live on the other side of that, you'd buy groceries in Big Lake, or do you think you'd buy them in Elk River? Maybe, you don't know. We have to figure out though that at some point, if we're a mile from Big Lake, or 2, we're probably going to Big Lake, and there's a breaking point where people go to Big Lake instead of to Elk River. So where your trade area ends and another one starts, we sometimes call that a breaking point. Okay. This is a textbook definition of it. I don't know if this makes sense to you, but it's an area adjacent to Elk River where Elk River's influence is dominant. If I put in Elk River, does that make that definition make sense? An area adjacent to Minneapolis where Minneapolis's influence is dominant. That's a definition of trade area. Okay? And that's Kristaller basically in, I don't know if I helped you get it very well, but it's an organizing of cities based on distances between them, services provided, and the trade area of the cities. And he says, somewhere in there you have to make sure that the word, let me go back once. In the free response question, okay, the term central place has to show up. So make sure you make a bold mark on central place. Probably urban hierarchy has to show up, or urban rank, or class. Spatial distribution probably has to show up in your description of that in a free response question. And trade area probably has to show up in that. Okay? And then the term hexagons, because I don't know where hinterland shows up in my notes.
Oh, it was back.
It was with it, yeah.
It was way back.
Is it in this one? Where is
Oh,
hinterland?
it's when you define city.
Okay. Because Kristaller, hinterland comes from Kristaller. And he says that hinterlands are the lands behind the cities. So Jackson lives in Orrock, that's Elk River's hinterland. Berg lives in Nowland, that's Elk River's hinterland, the land behind the city. So it's the areas tied to a city that are part of its trade area. So make sure you get hinterland written down as land behind city is his literal meaning, but is land within a city's trade area. And because Kristaller is some kind of mathematical geography nerd all at the same time, he decided they would be patterned in hexagons. Okay. that handout that you have is a good overview of Chris Stoller. The terminology in it is very much his, so it is a kind of a challenging process, but I think if you go through that after we've talked about it, it will make a lot of sense. So, what I test you will come from the notes, not from the handout. But the handout, like I said, is an enhancement to what we did. Questions? We're done. I got nothing else for you today. What? What?
So is the SAT which one? Half of the class failed that.
That was the test.
The test, not, they mean the essay test.
Oh,
No, you'll be okay. Okay, I'm taking it after this, so.
yeah, it was a long time ago. We haven't gotten that back yet, so I don't know how I did, but I'm hoping better than the unit test. Okay, I'm going to the bathroom, so I'm just gonna walk out of here, but I'll be back. I'm good.
So it goes attention device, link, that's set up for it just needs one paragraph. Topic, set up evidence analysis, set up evidence analysis, restate pieces,
Either C or D.
restate main points. No, connect to real world.
Barry, should I shut the camera off? How do I do that?
No, I totally forgot.
Should I hit this? Oh, stop.